Did I lose everybody?
There he is.
Hey.
I don't know what happened. I've got a Wi-Fi booster. Oh, sorry about that. Doesn't really always work the way we wanted to. Okay, just to finish up, we're talking about Jewish holidays, and we'll spend one session each week on the holidays. Now, Shabbat. Some people say the Sabbath is the most important holiday of the year. Why would we say that?
Because it's every week.
Yeah, it happens every week. That's right, Clara. It's 52 times a year. We don't have to wait once a year. We get the Sabbath every 7 days. So if you want to wait for another celebration, come back on Friday. So really important. It's mentioned, this is the only one that's commanded in the 10 commandments that we all follow to observe the Sabbath day. It's always fallen on the 7th day of the week when God rested in the Bible. The Christian religion at some point in the Middle Ages changed it to Sunday, but up to that point, even Christianity celebrated on the 7th day, which is Shabbat, Sabbath, and that Sunday became later on the Christian Sabbath. Here in America, we've got 2 Sabbaths, which is great, Saturday and Sunday. Many countries don't celebrate two weekend Sabbaths. Some countries, like Israel, for example, you work on the Sunday. You work 6 days a week and you only rest on the 7th, which is Shabbat. So other countries, that's may be true as well. Islam rests on on Friday. So again, only 1 day of the week. Here in America, we got two days, which is kind of nice. What are Jews really concerned about? The most important for me is tikkun olam, repairing the world. Just social justice, righteousness, not just believing, but deed, not creed. What you do is more important than what you think or believe. How you do things with other people is most important. The heart of Judaism is the home and the family, social responsibility, and doing mitzvot. Mitzvot are good deeds based on God's commandments. We said there are 613 mitzvot in the Torah. I won't read them all to you now. And through education and hard work, we make our lives, the lives of others, and the world what God intended to be, holy. Our job is to make the world more holy. And that's the end of that presentation. So just give you some basics. And I think some of you have already, knew a lot of that stuff already. Chelsea, you had something that you said on the chat?
I said 2020 problems because, Zoom issues, Zoom 2020.
Oh, yeah.
You get it.
I'm really sorry about that. I usually, I've been on here I've been on Zoom since March. Yes, Clara, you have a question.
The question about what does holy mean? To make the world more holy.
More holy. Well, the word holy could mean things in different religions. For the Jews, the word kadosh or holy means separated. That there's a separation between, let me get my picture back on here. Sorry about that. The difference is what holy is, the difference between what's mundane or plain and something that's special. For example, Sunday through Friday are plain. Saturday, holy. So in that respect, some times are more holy than others. How you act can be holy. If you go through the world only taking care of me, nice picture, Clara. If you say the world is built around me and what I decide to do, that's not a holy act. A holy act would be to minimize yourself and maximize what you do for others. So being holy means doing all those mitzvot, doing it to others as you would have them do unto you, or even better, love your neighbor. Sometimes that's a hard thing. What if your neighbor doesn't shovel his walk and you shovel your walk, you get rid of all the ice on your sidewalk, but your neighbor doesn't do that. People slipping and falling over there. You're supposed to love your neighbor? Yes. Regardless of how, maybe you'll go shovel his walk. You see, another example is somebody next door was mowing part of my lawn. What right does he have to mow part of my lawn? But, I let him, look, if he wants to, he can mow the whole lawn as far as I'm concerned. Here in La Crosse, we take this to an extreme. When I lived in the Twin Cities, when you step off of the curb, you take your life in your hands. A driver kind of decides in St. Paul, am I going to stop for this guy or not? Here in La Crosse, you step off of the curb and people stop half a block away sometimes, and they wait for you to go. Even if you don't have a baby stroller or a bunch of packages from Festival Foods, they wait for you to go. And if they see somebody walking down the sidewalk from half a block away, they'll wait for them to go as well. Now the driver behind them, usually me, doesn't honk on the horn like you would in the big city. You understand that people stop for pedestrians, not because, and there's no policeman around. You guys do this even if a policeman's not watching. Why do you do this? You're not going to get a ticket if you go through the stop sign.
Because we're holy here in La Crosse.
Because, no, you can call you a joke about it. You are doing a holy thing. That is a mitzvah. When you're caring about other people before yourself. Now, I see there's some crazy drivers here. There's some young drivers. There are people who drive 35 or 40 miles an hour on Losey Boulevard, even if the thing is flashing 25, even if the thing is flashing pedestrian crossing here on East Avenue. But most of us here, the speed limit is 25, Chelsea, on Losey Boulevard. How many people do, raise your hand, no. How many people actually do 25? People when they come out of Onalaska and the marshes, they're going 40, 50 miles an hour. It's hard to slow down to 20.
Is that not what you guys do? If it's it's 45, I'm pretty sure on that little, if it's 45, then you go 50, 52.
Yeah, when you're coming from Onalaska, you're passing the bluffs and the marshes, you're going, I see people going 60, 65 miles an hour. There's rarely a cop right there, but there would be a cop further down when Main Street comes up. But the idea is that people here, you don't follow all the speeding laws. When it comes to pedestrians, they've actually, in some places, like on Cass Street, built out an extra section of curb so that the pedestrian can have less time to cross the street. They don't have to make it across a wide street. They only have to go a short amount of space. That's a pain in the ass for bicyclists. I always have to swerve into traffic to go around those bump outs. But you know something? I've never been run over here in La Crosse.
Just wait.
And just wait. No, but really in St. Paul and Minneapolis, every week pedestrians are hit or killed. Fortunately, they're not all killed, but I mean, every week, 5 to 6 pedestrians in Twin Cities are hit by cars. Now, sometimes the pedestrians aren't crossing properly, right? They're crossing the middle of the street. They don't look. They're wearing dark clothing. It's nighttime. I understand that. But I'm just pointing out that here, we've taken an extra step. People have learned to stop for, I know you think it's this minor thing, but this is a very Jewish thing to do, is to watch out for others if you're in a hurry to get to the festival before it closes, you'll still won't hit the pedestrian or swerve around the pedestrian. Let the pedestrian know they have time to cross, that you're not going to hit them. And a lot of them, they wave to you. They say thank you because you're not hitting them. It's very nice. So that's a holy thing, Clara. That is a holy, I know it's silly, but that's a holy step because you're taking their lives more importantly than your own. So anyway.
But that can be a selfish thing too, because I mean, if I kill somebody, I'll be in big trouble.
Only if they catch you. Only if they catch you. Right. Are you going to wait around for the police to come? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway. So that takes up our 7 to 8. Those are the 60 minutes, which were our presentation and our discussion. I'd like to go into the Hebrew section, unless anybody has more questions before we go to the Hebrew lesson. Anybody? So I sent you all materials, but I'll go over them right here. The first step is to know the Hebrew alphabet. This is a chart. Can you see that on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's the Hebrew alphabet is there's 22 letters, so it's easier than the English alphabet. How many letters in the English alphabet?
26.
26, very good. That was a quiz. And there's only 22. And there's some repetition because some of these letters have the same pronunciation. For example, let's see, we go down here. The Vav, the sixth letter in the alphabet, is pronounced like a V, like in vine. But there's also another one that's V as in vine. It's the Bet without a dot in it. So that can be used in different ways, but different words will have different spellings, but those are pronounced exactly the same way, a V like in vine. Another one that shows up similarly is the T. We have this one that called the Tet, pronounced like T as in tall. And the last letter of the alphabet is T as in tall also, it's a Tav. So they're used in different ways with different words, but it helps knowing the pronunciation of the letters. Now, some of these you might notice have something to do with the alphabets that have been used for the last 4,000 years. Alpha in Greek, alpha, beta, gamma, these are ABC in modern, right? ABC. Alpha, beta, gamma is ABG. So the G isn't all the way down the alphabet in English. Here in Hebrew, it's the third one. So it's ABGD. And then come H and then V and Z. So it's not, after that, it's not in the same order. You have M and N together, L, M, and N. Actually, K, L, M, N, right? So you have Kappa, Lama, and I forget what M is in Greek. And so you have, so K, L, M, N show up in the same order in the Hebrew alphabet. They just pronounced it K, L, M, N, Ka, La, Ma, Na. So they are also similar. The P shows up kind of down here, and R and S, R, S, and T. Just like we have today in the English alphabet, they've been around for thousands of years, and they are always at the end of the alphabet, R, S, and T. So it's really kind of learning what the letters are. This is a great chart, which I'll send everybody, because you'll need this to decipher Hebrew. So I wanted to go into the first lesson, which is here. And there's this book called the Hebrew Reading Crash Course. It's really nice. And I sent it out to everybody. And if you need any of these materials, I'll send it to you as well. We're going to do 3 pages a week. So this is, the first thing you learn is the vowels. Now, vowels in Hebrew almost always are below the letter or above the letter. So any letter that we use an X, any letter that has this line under it is going to be pronounced how? Anybody?
Ah.
Ah. It's always ah. That line is always ah. It's been that way for a couple of thousand years. Now, before this, if you look at the Dead Sea Scrolls and other scrolls that people in Jesus's time were using, and Jews for thousands of years before that, there were no vowels, only consonants. These were invented around the time the temple was destroyed, so people could learn can maintain the pronunciation that everybody knew in the old days. So there's only a 2,000-year-old invention to have the vowels show up. So you have ah, it's always ah. Now, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet is an aleph, or alpha, or A. It has no sound at all unless there is a vowel above or below it. In this case, what vowel do we have in lines 3, 4, or 5? What sound? Ah. All right, so let's read line 3. Ah. 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 That easy? That's pretty easy, isn't it? That's the first sound you want to learn is ah. The second lesson, that was the first lesson. You've done so well so far. The second one is like a little T, and that's under letters as well. In modern Hebrew, Sephardic Hebrew, based in Spain originally, it's pronounced ah, the same way as the level line, the ah. This one is also pronounced ah, except for some religious words that come out of Europe, which we'll find out. The pronunciation is awe, like in awe, awesome. And that only happens a few times in the prayers and a few times in the Torah. Otherwise, who can read line 2 for me? Somebody read line 2. Anybody?
Ah, 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 ah.
Perfect. Somebody else, read line 3.
Ah, 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 ah.
They're pretty easy. Now, how about let's read line 7 together. This is tricky. That wasn't so hard, was it? Line 7 has both kinds of ahs under it. So let's do line 7 together. Ah,
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 ah.
ah.
I want you can practice this on your own at home. The third one, we're going to learn the second letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which is called bet. You don't need to know the name of it right now. Know that it's pronounced like B as in ball. It has a dot in there. That dot is very important because without a dot, it is a V. It's a V sound like in vine. So who can read the first one? Matt, you there? You want to try line 1, the B?
Sorry, Brian, I was distracted by the cat.
Okay.
But no, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, line 1, the has under the letter B. So how would that be pronounced? Line 1.
Ba, 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 ba.
Perfect. Perfect. Who can do line 2?
Me.
Somebody who hasn't gone before.
I'll go. Ba, 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 ba.
Okay, line 3 gets more difficult. We got 2 letters.
Ba, ba, ah, ba, ah, ba, ah.
All right, good. Who can do line 4?
Ba.
Ba. Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
Okay. Ba, ba, ah, ba, 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 ba.
Yeah, see, you guys are already reading now. Line 5 becomes a little more difficult. We have some actual words in Hebrew. Not the first one, that's ah. The second word, how do you pronounce the second word there?
Ba.
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 So ba means coming or comes.
Oh.
The next one is, who pronounced this one?
Abba.
Abba. Now, Abba means father in Hebrew. So Abba, ba, father is coming. Abba, ba. So here we have Abba, ba. Father is coming home. Father's returning.
At least we're still reading right to left and not left to right, so that's a little helpful.
Yeah, it's always left to right to left. Ba. So next line 6. Ba, ba, Abba, Abba, ba.
Abba, ba.
Line 7. Abba, ba,
Ba.
Abba, ba.
Abba, ba.
And line 8. Ba, ba, Abba, Abba, ba.
Abba, ba.
And again, these 2 sentences, Abba, ba,
Ba.
Abba, ba. The father says dad or father is coming. Abba, ba. So you've now completed three lessons of Hebrew. So that is the homework. Those of you will be joining us at future times, please go over those. And the next we're going to do pages 10 through 12. So it gets more challenging, of course, as you learn more letters. The goal, of course, is for us to learn some Hebrew as in the Torah. We'll be able to read, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth in Hebrew. Right in the Torah. We'll be able to read the Torah as we read it today in Hebrew. Thank you, Chelsea. The M was mu. You're right. Greek. I forgot that. That was an easy one, wasn't it? So that's really our 3 sections today of Judaism. Now's the time for any questions, concerns, complaints. So please share those. Now I'll tell you next week what we're doing next week. I can share that really quickly, and then we can ask some questions. That was the basic for today. Here's our lesson plan. I'll pull it up on the screen. That was week 1. Oh, that. Share screen, and here. So next week we're going to be doing, it's week 2. There's an article I'll send you about Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. We'll learn more about the movements in Judaism. We'll see a video of Barbara Streisand doing a prayer from Yom Kippur called Avinu Malkeinu. We'll learn more about forgiveness and atonement. And we'll study more about the movements in Judaism. We'll talk a little bit about LGBTQ and women's issues in modern Judaism. In the Bible, women weren't given the full credit for all the things. They were in charge of all the begetting, but they didn't get all the credit for it. And these days, how do we deal with LGBTQ issues where the Bible says men can't be with women and women can't be with men? You can't marry them. You can't dress like them. Modern Judaism allows for all of that. And that's changing, not among the Orthodox, of course, but in the rest of Judaism, allowing for all those. We don't tell people who you love, who you have to love. We say love everybody. And then we'll do, Hebrew will do 10 through 12 and then answer any questions or concerns anybody has. How's that? Was that too much, too fast?
Terrific.
So, well, thank you. Huh?
That's very good. Brian, did you say you sent a little book on the internet? I don't think I got it.
I'll send it to, let me take the names of everybody who's here. Michelle and Chelsea and Eric and Clara and Mark and Brady. And I'll send you all, and Matt. So I'll send you all the materials we discussed. You need to mute yourselves if you don't have any background noise, though. So we want to make sure people can hear. And please tell your friends, neighbors, other Jews to join us. This is good class for people who want to learn more about their own religion. I've learned so much from our Christian friends doing the Bagel and Bible class because I learned so much about how Christianity feels about parts of the Old Testament, which is really eye-opening for me. In the relationship with Judaism and Christianity. So anyway, we'll talk more about that as well. Any questions or concerns that we have? No, I think we'll end with the song we began with, which was, I'll put it up on the screen because I think now you know enough to add some words to the song. Let's see, click on share screen, and where is it? Okay, do this. We want to go to file and go to here, and we'll go to here. Can you see that on the screen, the trees?
No.
Oh, you don't see that?
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, we lost it? Okay. Share screen. There, you saw that? Okay. So this is one of the basic prayers that everybody recognize the reference. Psalm 133, verse 1. I know you guys know all 150 of the Psalms, which I'll go over right now. No, I won't do that. But Psalm 133, we love quotes. We don't do the whole Psalm. In this case, how good and how pleasant it is that brothers and sisters dwell together. That's the prayer. That's the where we take it from. And we have the melody. Lie, 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 lie. Oh, sorry. Lie, 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 lie. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Try that. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Again. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Second part goes, Hine Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Makom. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. And that is how you make life holy, by sitting in peace with each other, not tearing down your Capitol buildings or cutting off pedestrians on the street. You love your neighbor. The only way we can stop hate, I think you all agree, is by loving people more. It starts at home. Shalom Bayit. It starts with peace and love at home. It starts with loving your neighbors, the people you run into at the food co-op, loving your cats and dogs, your children, your relatives. Sometimes it's hard to love the relatives, but the goal is to try to love people. Look for the good in everybody you see. It's very easy to find the bad in other people. Boy, I got a lot of complaints. I try to keep them to myself, So I look for the good in everybody, and that's hopefully I find it all the time. That's the goal. And look, and that part that you see that's good, you help reach to that. You help them build on that and make it greater in their lives. That's holiness. That is taking something that's mundane and making it special, elevating it to a higher level. This is just a bottle of Mogen David Concord wine from Festival Foods. But when you say a blessing over it and make it something that comes from God, you didn't just buy it at Festival. It's the very invention of wine and being able to enjoy is elevating it to a higher level, taking it to something that's even song and prayer. It's taking just plain words and bringing it to a higher level, and it brings you up. The whole goal is to get up, folks, not to get down. And if that's the only thing that religion and prayer and faith can do for you, then it's achieved its goal. Is helping you feel up and not down. That's my goal, and I hope that will work for all of you as well. Well, thank you all for joining us this week. Look forward to next week. If you can't come next week, this will be recorded. Some of you will be going to the La Crosse Martin Luther King celebration next week on Monday night. We may consider postponing this class next week and going to the Martin Luther King celebration, because it's community wide and it's going to be so big with good speakers and stuff. I may decide to just postpone the second class till 2 weeks from now and send you all the notice for the Martin Luther King. How do you feel about that?
Sounds good.
Yeah. So thank you all for joining me tonight. You have elevated my life. You have made me high today. So I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much. I feel kadosh, holy. Be well. Have a good week. Do good work. Have a blessed week, folks.
Thank you. Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.